Hi, today I'm going to demonstrate the steps to generate personal link in the Qualtrics survey system. This is particularly responding to the IPO user information survey. To begin, first log on to rutgers.qualtrics.com and log in with the active NetID. And then browse to the survey. In this case, is user information updater R2 June production. The personal link it's on the distribution page. To get there directly, you can click on this drop down under the actions and click on distribute survey. And once there, you can click on personal link. Now all these are the previous personal link has been generated. All these links can be reused only if they have not been started. If they have, then the survey cannot be the link cannot be reused anymore. And if you're not sure if it's hard to find, you can definitely just start a new survey. Now, a new survey link. The new survey link does not void any of the older ones that were sent out. What that means is, as you send them the new link, they probably say, "Oh, I found the old one." No problem. Feel free to use any one that they can find, as long as it has not been used. It didn't start. Um, In this case, we're going to proceed as we never sent a link for this particular user, and we're going to go ahead and do the new generation at this point. So click on the generating link, select contact, browse to the contact list. Now this is very, very important that you have to browse to the contact list that were linked or associated with this survey. If you use any other contact list, even though you might find the same person, but the link you generated will not contain the right information. So when user answer the survey, the information they provide you will not go back into the contact list. This survey is using a contact trigger method. What that means is if any information you provided will only go back to this particular contact list. If you do not use the contact list if you do not use the contact from this list, even though it might be the same person, the information will not come here. And once that's done, you don't know where the information goes, and you have no way of getting the information again unless the user fill the survey one more time. So it's very, very important you pick this one, IPO User Survey 2017-06, and only select any people from here. Now there are two things you need to look out, and I'm going to use myself as example here. You can type any part of the name, but it has to be a full name. So in this case, it's my last name, C-A-I. Now, as you can see, the two pieces of information you see from here. First, last name, and my email address. I would prefer you using a Rutgers email address on record. Now, as for this user, you have the name all spelled out, but you do not have a Rutgers email. What this might cause is if you do send user the information, they will see that you have their personal email on file. They might question you, how do you get that information? Why do you have that? Then you have to give them a whole history how you got the information and why you choose to use that one. So my recommendation is update that to a Rutgers email before you send the survey out. And the only place to update this is if you log into this contact list and then update that information. Another reason you need to go to the contact list is you cannot find this person, which likely you do not have that person's information on file. Then you still would go into the contact and update that information. So I'm going to show you the step as directly from here, because most of the time when people ask for a personal link, it's probably due to information that their email is not updated or just simply don't have it. So we're going to cancel at this point and go over to the contacts to update those information. When you click on that, browse to the contact that we just talked about, which is IPO User Survey 2017-06. I'm repeating, IPO User Survey 2017-06. Click on this, opens the list. You can narrow your search by typing in one of these criteria, first name, last name, or email address. We're going to start with last name, for example. For one of the one that I had in mind was this user. She had an email that's not Rutgers. There you go. You click on the link and you can see now you have this window pop up where you can click on edit and you can go ahead and highlight this, override this one with the Rutgers email. I do not have one in this case. I just want to show you where to go. So I'm not going to make any change for this user. I'm going to close here. But if you would, this is where you would have changed the email. Once you do, you would click save, which I'm not going to do in this case. I'm just going to click close. And once the information is saved, it will reflect right here immediately. And once that's done, now this is for updating user information. If you would need to click create new, what you do is you click on add contacts and click on add manually. Now this I'm making the assumption that you're only adding one or two people at a time. If you're adding multiple, I say probably a dozen or so, you should put them into an Excel file. The instruction for that one is something we need to come up later. Feel free to reach me and then we'll get that figured out. So, but in this case, we're going to add manually. Email address. It needs to be a Rutgers email address. I'm just making an example. For example, this is the Rutgers email address for this new person. And first name, last name. These are only three pieces of information needed to create this contact. The rest of the information will be added through the survey response. Once you have these information, then you can add a few more if you have them, or just one at a time. Then you can click on add contact. I'm not going to do because this records already exists in the contact. I'm going to cancel, but if this were new, you would click on the add contacts. And once it's done, if the criteria was still searching for that person, it will start showing up here. And then once that change is confirmed, click on projects. You'll be back to where you were when you left, and then go ahead and click on generate generate links. Select contact, go back to the same person. Now we search for him again, and you should see it. Again, I'm going to pick mine, this example, as if this is the one we need to create links for. Now, the expiration date by default is 60. You obviously can choose any of the following, any of the ones listed, or even do a custom one. But I recommend not to change that because, first of all, once the link is sent out, users should be actively waiting for it, and then once you get the link, it only takes a couple minutes to get the survey completed. 60 days is definitely more than what they need. But on the flip side, if they do not answer the survey in 60 days, it does not mean we can no longer generate another link for them. So the 60 days is just a landmark. But it does help you to keep track how many active links are out there. You know, there's no links living longer than other ones and whatnot. They're all gonna expire on about the same period of time. So it's kind of easier for you to keep track of that. I would recommend not to change this. It really does not matter. You don't have no permanent or long-term impact in any method. So then go ahead and click on generate links. Now the link will be embedded in this Excel CSV file. Feel free to save this file anywhere on your computer. You can remove it as soon as you dealt with this link. And the reason is because this information is technically in the survey once it's created. You can always retrieve that later on if you need to. And also, if you don't retrieve them, if you don't remove them and keep them here, it's actually kind of more complicated because each time they're going to generate a link file with the same name. So if you don't delete them or don't override them, then you have to have a way to keep organize these files. You have to make sure the files are indicated correctly and up to date, so then each time you know which the new link you just created. And if the same person has multiple links, you have to know which one's the latest one, because otherwise you will not be able to get the right link information. So in this case, we're just gonna save this file anywhere. It doesn't really matter. And I'm using a later version of Google Chrome, so it shows me the download file right here. I can click and open it directly. And this link is really all I need. I'll right click on and copy this. Now I can paste this into an email, or I can put right into a browser and work with the user if I'm actually with them at the moment. And if I paste this link here, I'll be able to go ahead and pull the survey and be able to answer the survey right there and then, and close it when I'm done. Now, if for any reason I lost that link before I could have sent it out or use it, what we can do is come back to this personal link summary page and simply refresh the page to make sure it contains updated links, and cancel this pop-up and pick the last one of that person. Let's say if I'm doing for this person or any other person, you click on it, it will go ahead and pull this link again. Again, where to save it, it's irrelevant, because you just need this one time to get the link, and you can discard this file from your computer. In this case, I'm going to choose override the previous one. That way I know what's in there. It's always the latest one with the one for the one I just created. Replace, of course. And then go ahead and open this file. And that's the link I need again. And once that link is used, survey is answered, this personal link request is dealt with and completed. This is the end of this demonstration. If any question, please reach out to me and contact me in any way, and then I'll do my best to answer. Thank you very much.